the title of this call. I originally called it Consciously Creating Synchronicities, and then I expanded upon it to the system of you, and we'll go into details on that. And yeah, so I feel like you guys all know me fairly well, so I'm going to more just kind of start moving into things. And so some of you are completely new to my calls, so thank you. Some of you are more familiar with my calls, and this is the latest evolution that's integrating and synthesizing all of my teachings and practices together. So going in a new direction. And what is that new direction? It's really highlighting that this is all skill-based. And like what I found is when people come and they start learning conscious creation and manifestation, all this stuff, getting in alignment, following their inner guidance. It's kind of like this thing of like, oh, I learned it and now it should just work for me forever. And it's not like a college degree where you just get it and you have it for the rest of your life. It's really the skill that you develop and practice persistently, consistently, over time, over and over again. And over 20 years, close to 25 years of playing with these skills, I've come to acknowledge there's a few that make a really, really, really big difference. And so if you followed my work before, you might be familiar with like what I call the triad solution, everything, alignment, vibration, inner guidance, or maybe the free to be me inner journey, which is like melting away the resistance so you can be yourself, so you can live that life in like flow state. Or I got all of these different cool tools along the way. So this is going to be taking it to another level. And that's what the system of you is all about. So I'm going to be breaking that down into 4 pillars. We'll kind of touch on all those. Then I'm going to check in with you guys for what's most relevant for you. And then what's most relevant for you guys who are on the live call, we're going to focus in on that direction even more because like the system can be really, really big. So I really want to make it practical and useful for you guys who are here on the call. And if you're watching the replay or seeing it where you can leave a comment, send me an email, send me a DM. Love to have you on the next call or just hear your input of what's most helpful as we evolve the journey here. Okay, so then the next part of that I want to emphasize is that since it's skill-based and since it's like reoccurring skills, my plan with this is to have ongoing calls. So to have like 6 weeks so you can develop the habits of these skills. So for the next 6 weeks, we'll be going deeper dive into these. If you're interested in that, you can register or even drop something in the chat saying, like me or something, and I will keep in touch with you guys. Okay, so the system of use. Like, what's this all about? So it's the idea of being, so people want to like create the life they desire and dream of. And what I found is really about mastering the art of conscious creation. So living the life we desire and dream of is a byproduct of who we are. So we move from unconscious unconscious incompetence to conscious competence to conscious unconscious excellence. There we go. And so the idea is we go in from like skills that we have no idea about. So like, okay, there's something to practice to, yeah, let's consciously practice it to now it becomes this automated thing that happens, kind of like tying your shoes. Remember the first time I was trying to tie my shoes, it was hard. I was like crying and snotting. I don't know, I could do it. Now I could just do it with my eyes closed. So the idea is that all these skills can progress in this way. Okay, so basically, if you want your life to be more preferable, if you want to have more love in your life, if you want to do things you love with who you love in a way you love, if you want to experience your passionate purpose in a way that's prosperous and powers you up, these are the kinds of things you can create by leveraging these skills. You can have more flow in your life. You can live out your calling. You can create whatever you intend. And that's one of the things to really highlight. When we really come from a place of alignment and connecting into our miraculous, unique essence, personality, that's when the things we create are an extension of that. And when we create from this place of empowerment, then the things we create in our life, the things we flood into our subconscious, then lead to experiences we actually want to have. Because I know I've done it, and maybe you guys have too, where it's like I'm working on manifesting something, and then when it shows up, it's not really what I wanted. Or maybe I put all this time and energy into something and start living it out, and I realized this was actually someone else's dreams. It wasn't quite my own. So to work around this and get to the point where we're aligned and creating what we actually desire is one of the keys. So you guys relate to this? Is this something you want to have more of in your life? Give me like a nod or something. Yeah, cool. And yeah, awesome. And if you have your camera off and you're driving, that's totally fine. And you guys could just drop things in the chat, like a letter Y for a yes or something as well. Okay, so the four main pillars, we're gonna just kind of briefly go over them, and then I'll go deeper based on what's relevant. And also, we're gonna move into like a Q&A, facilitation of transformation, hot seat style experience after this. So, okay, so the four main pillars, and sometimes I've described it as five and all these other ones, but I've simplified it to four main pillars at this point. One of them is the foundation, and the foundation is to feel inner harmony in your life. It's to feel connected, clear, aligned between your head, heart, and gut. It's so you're at that space of inner peace and there's flow in your life. And so if you guys want to learn more about the foundation, you can nod or drop like an F in the chat. um, so you guys want to have more, would that be helpful for you to learn more about the foundation? Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. May not be the thing you guys want to learn the most about, which I am totally fine with. Okay, so, and then there's also the idea of baseline boosting within that, which is to make it a consistent, reoccurring experience. Okay, I got one. I got a Y in there. All right. Yes, thank you for dropping it in the chat. Okay, so now the next part of it is navigation. And this is the idea of knowing what to do and when to do it. It's the idea of asking yourself useful questions so you get useful answers. It's the idea of when you get information to know if it's something that you can follow, to discern the difference between the higher self, the inner guidance, and just the noise and information from other people. It's also about trusting it, which I find is the key crux within that system is when you are getting inspired information, how do you know it's actually for you? And then how do you get in that place of really trusting it instead of doubting it? And then it moves into taking action, and that leads into the loop of the action component, which is essential for having physical reality, material, tangible experiences. So if you guys want to know more about navigation, following and trusting in your inner guidance, give me a nod or drop a Y in the chat. Where are you guys on that one? Navigation. Yeah, I got a vote for that. Excellent. Yeah, we got 2 votes for that. Okay, so I'll definitely be something. Okay, that's got the most. That's got the most so far. Okay, so now you're following along. You're aligned. You're connected. You're inspired. You're getting the guidance. You're moving along with it. So the next thing that happens is as we start taking action toward the experiences we desire and dream of, the experiences we say we prefer, the next thing that happens is we start bumping into resistance because it's like the reason why you're not living the life you desire and dream of already is there's something that's coming up. Maybe it's fears, limiting beliefs, energy wounds, conflicting personality parts, split energy, whatever it is, there's a reason why you're not living that life right now. So, whatever those reasons are, they start appearing in our life to, in a sense, confront them, to be like, hey, is this really what I prefer to experience or not? And if it is, and that resistance is there, maybe you were conditioned to act on a life that you don't really prefer. Maybe there is that thing that happened when you were a kid and now you act this other way when you really want to be that way. So there's all this stuff that comes up, and I just simply refer to them as inner obstacles. And so the idea then is transmuting the inner obstacles. You can think of kind of like Rumpelstiltskin, turning the straw into gold. It's turning the shadows into your gifts. It's turning your limitations into your assets. It's turning those blockages into the fuel that power the engine that propel us forward and allow us to keep moving along with our guidance. And so there's a lot of different ways to transmute things. And over the years, I found there's a few that work really, really, really well. And those are the ones I like to highlight. And that in itself could be a whole call, a whole 6-week immersion of its own. So a lot of times when I start doing the Q&A with people, whatever their resistance is that comes up, I'll show you guys ways to do that. I'll break it down with you. I'll show you the skills to help you have the breakthroughs. So if transmutation is something you want to go deep on, drop a yes in the chat or nod or both. What do we got? All right. Yeah, we got a yes there as well. Okay, so far it looks like to me transmute or oh, there's more. Okay. Inner guidance might still be the winner. Navigation. Okay, and then fourth, conscious creation. And so this is the idea of creating the life we desire and dream of, which our thoughts, our focus, our emotions, these are directly influencing what we experience, what we bring into our reality, what we're feeding into our subconscious. Our subconscious, whatever we feed into it, naturally propels us toward it. So whatever we think about, we become, whatever we focus on grows. The way we feel is how we feel about it when it's magnetized back into our life. The feelings are the magnet that's bringing the experiences into our life that feel similar to that. So when we're able to consistently participate in a state of being, and a state of being is essentially your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your actions. So the state of being is kind of the core frequency that leads into those things. And so when we have a consistent state of being, when we have a consistent emotional state, we magnetize and create experiences that are a match to that in our life. So there's a lot of great ways of going about it. I made this 5-part system I call creating mind-blowing experiences, which is about like how to connect into that, how to bring that into your life, how to shorten the timeline so you collapse the timeline so the experiences, the synchronicities, the serendipities, the opportunities show up sooner and they're relevant to the experiences we want to have, and how to be the personality, how to embody the energy so we live it out in our life. So if you guys want to explore conscious creation, once again, it's a big topic. Uh, Drop something in the chat, give me a nod, and it's something we can explore on this call as well. Yes to conscious creation. Yes. Yes. Okay, awesome. Andrea, you want it all. I see this. All right, 100%. Okay, yeah. So it looks like we'll probably put more emphasis on navigation and conscious creation. Okay, and then the next part, going back to the consciously creating synchronicity. So how that fits into this is when we're dialed in and moving toward the life we desire and dream of, the idea is to create the synchronicities that accelerate that. So, it's not just synchronicity is like, oh yeah, the angel numbers showed up. That's fun. All the license plates look the same. Yeah, it's having that person show up in your life who has the resources, the information, the opportunity that is the match to the thing you wanted, where you go, oh, this was created for me. This was created by me. This opportunity is exactly the thing I've been dreaming about for the last days, weeks, months, years. So that's really what it's about. It's about opening up to allowing them in and to receiving them and taking them in. So we are experiencing the life that we desire and dream of as the natural byproduct of who we are by being in these states. And so the idea with that is, generally speaking, it unfolds over time. And what I mean by that is if you start tuning into the feelings of the life you prefer, yeah, within seconds, minutes, you'll start feeling different. And the feelings is literally a manifestation of chemistry that's literally changing and marinating in your body. So, in a sense, that's the first manifestation. And as our emotions change, our thoughts automatically change to reflect the emotional change. And our thoughts is, things we imagine, just general mental dialogue, as well as the memories that we have access to. They all change to reflect the state of being that we're in. Okay, so that's another one that's quick manifestations. Then, as we think ideas, we start reinforcing beliefs and it starts turning into actions. It starts turning into plans. Plans is kind of like a bunch of thoughts and ideas that string together over time. And once it's a string of ideas over time, this plan now becomes something we can take action on. And what we feed into our subconscious starts showing up here. So if you're pumping ideas into your subconscious for like 2 weeks, they'll start showing up as ideas that you want to do. And so that's the next manifestation. And so now, say you keep it going for 2 weeks, you'll start noticing clear evidence of a new emotional baseline where the feelings we've been connecting into, the thoughts we've been feeding into our subconscious start becoming normal. They start showing up on their own. So if you take that up to around 6 weeks, I like choose 6 weeks, 40 days for a habit. Yeah, the science varies on that a lot. 6 weeks is significant, though. I found with my clients between 2 and 6 weeks, it's consistent that people are now experiencing the outward expression of the synchronicities in their life that reflect the state of beings and ideas that they've been tuning into. And so if you keep that going, where you're starting to be like, okay, well, this is pretty amazing. I am seeing evidence of this thought pattern. Now, around 2 to 3 months, that's when there's a strong momentum. And that's when there's definitely the synchronicities, the serendipities. And by serendipity, I mean the person, the thing that's showing up, the special timing where you're like, well, how could this have even happened? It defies probability. And here it is. It matches my thoughts. And so around 2 to 3 months, that becomes really consistent, becomes really tangible, becomes really outward. And then around 4 or 5 months, it's usually the point where it's like, okay, this is now starting to show up everywhere. This is where it starts turning into larger scale events where now everyone at the event has that similar idea. And this organization's coming together. And where did they come from? How do they know exactly what I wanted? So it's being magnetized in that way. And then around the 6 to 7 month mark, I call that the tipping point. And that's the idea where it becomes easier to experience the life that you're tuning into now than the previous life. It's where it now tilts over, where the momentum is flowing in a new way. And one of the things that highlight with that is that this applies to any state of being, any thought, any focus, any emotion that you're consistently participating in. So some people who are like couch surfers and they're tuning into their favorite shows, and that's what they get in their life. If you're like a driven, devoted entrepreneur and you're going for your dream life passion project, then that's what starts flooding into your life. So it's being mindful of what we're feeding into ourselves. And when we align with our unique essence, when we tune and feed our subconscious the things we desire, that's when it becomes that over and over and over again. And so that's what we feed in. And that's how the whole system comes together. Those are the 4 pillars. And then that's the idea of mastery, right? It's not just practicing these skills once, it's devoting our life to them. It's being dedicated, it's participating over and over and over and over again, because this is our passion. This is our calling. This is what we're driven to do. So we can now live it out. So we can now extend into it. So we can now live it in our life. So how do you guys feel about that? Any questions, comments? Was this helpful so far? Drop a yes or nod or a Y. If you want to drop any sort of a statement about what was most helpful about all of this, I'll give you guys a moment to drop something in the chat. Or even easier than that, if you guys just want to unmute and say like a sentence or two, that would work too. Or if no one wants to talk, that's fine.
No, this all seems helpful. I guess I've noticed this come fruition in my own life. Whatever I'm putting in, kind of whatever I'm like digesting on, whether it be like food or like actual like information is kind of what's shaping my reality. So
yeah,
thank you.
awesome. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for chiming in and sharing. And yeah, exactly, right? So like whatever you're feeding in, now that's what loads into the subconscious. What gets into the subconscious is now what we get naturally propelled toward. And most people, they're living out their life based on the default of what they were raised, just as like an automatic, this is what it is. And so now the idea is to consciously, intentionally inject and infuse what we prefer into our life so we can live it out. Synchronicities and serendipities are the best. Yeah, absolutely. I got 100% in there as well. Awesome. Okay, so anyone else commenting anything, or do you guys want to move in toward the Q&A portion, just like nods